Hey guys, welcome to Steel Forge and Fire Sword and Knife. My name is Joe. This in front of me is the one and only D-Bad Preacher.
Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
Guys, don't forget, here on my channel, we support veterans. Look into my description for all the details of awareness, which we're trying to grow for hashtag 22 a day. All the details will be in the description. Vets, you are welcome here. We love you on this channel, and you are welcome on this channel, in our chat. Join us, relax. Let's talk knives, let's talk blades, and don't stop fighting a good fight. Yes, my friends, this is the D-Bad Preacher. This is a collaboration between Donnie B All Day, which is called a D-Bad Design. Donnie B All Day is a popular knife reviewer, YouTuber. Check out his channel. His link will be in the description. Does an amazing job. He's one of the premier knife reviewers on YouTube, so definitely check him out. But it's a collaboration between D-Bad Designs and the CUTLERY house, which is KHHI Nepal. I don't think there's enough videos on the Preacher because it's just that good of a knife. I mean, the design, everything about it is just absolutely stunning. The three best words to describe this knife is large, thick, and strong. Incredibly strong, okay? But it's also incredibly easy to wield in the hand, okay? That's the marvel of this whole design. It's just a very tough knife, but it's so comfortable and easy to wield in the hand. I personally wanted to go with the actual measurements of the knife as is because that's how it was designed from the designer, and I wanted to go with the proper balance of the knife as it was meant to be designed. So I didn't choose to change anything about the blade size or handle or anything like that. I'm glad I didn't because it is an incredibly balanced, huge knife in the hand. And it was just a pleasure to play with. I did some testing with it, so you'll see that a little bit more later on. I'll narrate it for you. It's a 15.6 inches overall. The actual blade is about 10 inches, exactly 10 inches from the beginning of the finger choil, from the handle, all the way up to the point. Now, the cutting surface is at 9.2 inches, okay, right up to the cutting, the finger choil. Now, the total handle length is 5.6 inches. It's a rosewood handle, really beautiful rosewood handle, very comfortable in the hand. I love the curvature of the handle. The egos on this handle are absolutely fantastic. That is one of the most appealing things about the knives that are designed from D-Bad, from Donnie. The handles are designed to fit comfortably in the hand. They're designed to fit comfortably while you're yielding them or, pounding on wood or doing whatever you're doing. They're designed to be comfortable. And that is pretty much one of my favorite things, speaking just of this Preacher, is the handle, okay? The egos of the handle are absolutely amazing, okay? It's so comfortable in the hand. It almost becomes part of it's like an extension of your wrist, and your hand is the handle. That's how good it actually is. The actual spine of the blade is, I measured in millimeters, which is 7.16 millimeters, which interprets to 0.28 inches, okay? This is a very, very thick spine, guys. I mean, you can see how much beefy steel is on this spine. And the beautiful thing is the spine has that type of thickness all the way up to, when it gets to about the point, the curvature right over here, it actually only dips down to about 0.16 inches. So it's really thick. The spine is really thick all the way up to the point. And then I don't know if you can see it, but it gives you like a little diamond shape, okay, that makes the point even stronger. okay? It's a very, very well designed knife in terms of making it extremely strong, starting from the spine all the way down to the point, the edge rather. Beautiful thing about this blade, okay, is the fact that it has something called, it's a 3-blade panel grinding, which is called, actually the technical term is it's called a Shira, CHIRRA. You notice how it bubbles up in 3 spots on the blade, okay? The reason for that is, okay, so you have, it bubbles up in the middle and then bubbles up, okay, right before it gets to the point. So it's like it goes here, dips, bubbles up and dips, and then it goes into the fine point. Now, I think that the design of this knife, okay, with that Shira grinding is sort of acting like a shock absorber, okay? And that's what makes this knife so freaking tough, okay? Because of this swell of this Shira grinding, okay, this swell in the middle that gives you all that steel in the middle that acts almost like a shock absorber, okay, for impacts, okay? So it'll protect the knife, protect the edge, and protect the blade from breaking, basically. I mean, I can't see breaking this blade. I mean, I got to tell you, on my tests, and again, I am not testing these knives as good as CHOIRBOYZ Cutlery or Donnie. Scab from CHOIRBOYZ Cutlery has tested this knife. He does an amazing job. He really put it through its paces, or Donnie himself. But I think that with my ability, my novice ability, okay, I think I just kind of pounded the shit out of it, okay? I really gave this thing hell, okay? I gave it everything I had, and it really just, it doesn't vibrate in the hands on impact. It really feels like this is a shock absorber with all this steel right in the middle of the blade, and just how the belly of the blade is just huge, okay? And it just acts as a shock absorber, okay, for impacts, and that is what this knife was made. This knife was made to come out of the box and be a very hard hitter. It is just truly marvelous as far as how much impact and how much abuse this thing can actually take. The beauty of this knife is the fact that it's a full flat tang, okay, all the way around the handle. I mean, it's a solid piece of steel surrounded by these really comfortable rosewood handles with these steel pins. And you even have a lanyard hole, you know, if you choose to use it. The finger choil actually works very well. I ended up forgetting it was there because I was basically pounding the shit out of this thing, and I even forgot I had a finger choil, but I would have actually liked to have used it to maybe do like a little bit of definer, like, you know, sticking, feather sticking or something like that, which you can use it with the finger choil and your thumb right here just kind of choking it up. You can kind of, you know, feather stick with this thing. Especially if you choose to get this thing sharper. What can I say about the CUTLERY house, KHHI and Apollo? They make handmade knives and they make them well. That is pretty much sums it up, okay? They have ages and ages of experience, okay, making kukris, and it's been passed down from generation to generation, and they are just professional knife makers, handmade knife makers, okay? They are basically just, you know, barefoot in sandals, feet on the blade, holding it down, pounding it down. I mean, it's a traditional way of making knives, and you've seen it in the footage I've showed you of KHHI and Apollo, how incredible they actually work. And I take pride in holding one of their blades, knowing how much work that went into making it. If there was anything that I have any complaints about, okay, with the knives that I have received from the CUTLERY house, is the fact that the sharpness level of the knife, even if you can request it to be very sharp, it does come sharp out of the box. But me being a katana guy, I just have a different level or a different idea or a different level of sharpness that appeases me. So I chose to reprofile the edge, okay, to a 25-degree angle on a work sharp, okay, on belts. You know, I grinded it down to a 25-degree angle bevel, okay, and it's still a very strong bevel at 25 degrees, guys. And it gave me the sharpness level that I wanted, okay, before I was doing my testing. Now, the reason I do this is because I wanted to show you the full potential of this knife, and it has a lot of potential. So I wanted to, right from the get-go, give it that sharper edge that should be able to slice, okay, right in and out of wood, of any type of wood targets or anything you're throwing at it, okay? You have that edge right off the bat. That's a nice, sharp, clean, sharp edge that's going to give the knife the credit it deserves. So that's why I felt like I needed to basically reprofile and give it that sharper edge that I prefer. That's basically what it comes down to. There are reasons why they don't make it that sharp, and I understand that they don't want to have the edge brittle because they know the type of abuse and impacts that these knives are going to take, and they rather give it a sharp edge, but not a too fine of an edge to cause the edge to be brittle. But I really had no problem putting a 25-degree angle on the edge, okay? It really did its job, and it did it very well, and I found really no problems with the edge whatsoever. This particular blade is actually labeled as unpolished, okay? I think the idea that the designer had when he was making this D-bed knife, okay, he wanted it to have a rough look. Now, I know a lot of people have complained, oh, it's, you know, you see some grinding marks or you see some hammer marks. Number one, I don't see any hammer marks. It's perfectly smooth. There's no bubbling up of the blade. It's a perfectly smooth blade, but there are some, it's not polished. It's an unpolished blade. It's still lustrous and looks beautiful, but they claim it as unpolished. So if you get close to the edge, which you see in the picture there, you can see some of the grinding marks. But I think this was done intentionally from the designer to give it this type of rough look to the blade, okay? You can see other blades from the CUTLERY house that are, you know, highly polished or semi-polished or satin that don't have those grinding marks. I think this was the purpose of the D-bed preacher, to have this type of look, okay, this type of very rough look to the blade. And I gotta tell you, I appreciate it. I appreciate the discolorations in the rosewood handle. I appreciate even like the little staining of the varnish, okay, that goes onto the base of the blade before the finger choil. I appreciate all of it because it makes me feel like I have a one-of-a-kind handmade knife. So basically, if somebody else has a preacher, it's not a machine-made knife, so it's not going to be, you know, basically identical. There are characteristics. There's character to the blade, and that's why I really love this handmade feel of this knife, okay? That's my personal preference. You may feel the same. That's the way I feel about it. Okay, I love the look of this knife. I love the rough texture of the blade. It is smooth. It's not texture, but it's just the grinding marks. But it is a very smooth blade. There's nothing bubbling up on it, and I love the discolorations in the rosewood handle. It definitely gives it a lot of character, and that's one of my favorite things about this knife. And of course, the handle. The handle is incredibly comfortable. That's what makes it great. For break now, I'm going to show you some of my cutting footage with the knife, and then we'll circle back again, and I will give you my ending thoughts about the D-bed preacher. All right, so let's take a look at some tests with the D-bed preacher. These are my very humble testing of the D-bed preacher. I started off with some paracord. It's about 160 pounds of pressure. Just wanted to show you the sharpness level of the knife before I did it touched any wood whatsoever. I did some push cuts before off camera, no problem. I just did some, you know, hard downward cuts on the paracord, absolutely no problem, nor would I think there would be a problem. Obviously I put it to a test with the garden hose, went through it with no problem, did some hard downward cuts with that as well, did very well with that as well. Didn't see any issues there. I just wanted to show you the sharpness level of the knife prior to cutting, and I'll probably revisit it again after I did some cutting of some wood. A couple more cuts there, and that's that. So I just kind of started going to town and started doing some downward cuts on some firewood. And firewood is amazingly tough to get through. It's just, there's so many wood fibers in there and it's so compact. But the preacher really just sunk right into it, just bit right into that wood really well. So I was very impressed at just how the wood was kind of flying right off of that blade. So I really just kind of went to town now and started pounding on it. I just really wanted to test the edge of the knife to see how much it could take. And I'm actually really trying to hit that with all my might. I'm going to get better at this as we go on, guys, but for first time around, I actually want to thank Scab at CHOIRBOYZ Cutlery because he kind of coached me, and I'm trying to use a lot of the same tests that he does, and he's so successful in testing out his buoys. And I'll catch up to you one day, Scab, old boy. And Donnie, of course. Donnie does a great job testing his knives as well. So yeah, I just wanted to also cut some more paracord after I did some really hard cuts on that firewood, and it still is holding a nice edge. Here is a 4-foot 2x4 that you can see how right from the get-go, the bites that this knife is taking is amazing. And again, I am not the best cutter, guys. This is like my first get-go of this, and testament of the knife, okay? Testament of the power of this knife and how well it's made, the temper, everything that goes into making this knife. Look at the bites that I am getting in to this 2x4. It's a pressurized 2x4, and it's almost making it easy for me. You know, sped it up a little bit more so you don't want to see this cut all a million times. Speed it up. I wish I could cut that fast. All right, here I go on this side. I think I'm going to slow it up in a bit, and I'll show you the final blow to cut this 2x4 right in half, in twain, son. Here it comes, and boom, boom. Here it goes. So there's a 2x4. Did quick work. This Daybed Preacher did quick work of that 2x4. I just wanted to kind of finish it up. I wanted to try to get this in half because I wanted to try some batoning on this piece of wood. So I wanted to kind of try to split it, and I just look at the bites that it is getting. I mean, the wood just breaks in fear, okay, when this blade is hitting against it. Here's my little guitar string there. I got a little guitar shape there. I could put some strings on it, play some music for you guys. I didn't think about that. So I wanted to break this in half. A couple more swings of that. I think it's going to pretty much fall apart. And there you go. Some batoning. No problem batoning, obviously. Cuts it right in half. I think I did another one after that. Boom. No effort, guys. Absolutely no effort. Just right in half. Beautiful job. Now I'm just kind of testing the edge, just taking a look to see if there's any rolls or any chips, and the edge looks absolutely fine. It really does. It held up to everything really well, and it's still pretty damn sharp. It really is. I actually went in and started cutting some holes again just to show you how the edge retention is on this 5160 steel. That is very good carbon steel on this blade. So it's kind of just doing quick work and kind of just doing some quick slicing. Get in there, Joe. Get in there. There you go. Cut in twain, son. There it goes. Do some more hard downward cuts. Send it flying. No problem there. And it's still sharp. And it's still slicing even after all that cutting. Very, very impressed. Very impressed. Do a couple more slices there. Right down, guys. Perfect. Yeah, it's looking good. So, it's my little pose there, my little Valhalla Project t-shirt on there. Posing it up for you, and there's your D-Bear Preacher. Okay, guys, that was my novice at best, okay? I mean, cutting footage, okay, that I did with this knife. And listen, I did my best to really, beat the shit out of this thing. I pounded that thing as hard as I could, and it really did a great job for me. And that's saying it's a testament to the knife, okay? Because it went through the 2x4s as I wanted it to. And like I said before, this is definitely a testament to the knife, because it's not a testament to my abilities, okay? It's a testament to the knife and what the knife can do in your hands. So this knife, in a real, much more, with someone with a lot more force than I have, can really get through its materials very well, and the edge will definitely hold up. Okay? Guys, this is the leather sheet that it comes with, okay? Now, the great thing about the way they make their sheets, they make their knife and then they make their sheet. It's not just a one-size-fits-all type of thing. They design the sheet for the knife, okay? So when you get the sheet, okay, in and out, it's absolutely butter smooth, and it fits right in there. It doesn't fall out. It comes in, locks in. It's a perfectly good fit. I'm very happy with how this sheet fits my knife, okay? You lock it into place with the button here, and perfectly secure, doesn't wiggle, doesn't rattle, okay? It's a perfect fit of the sheet of the knife, and that goes into the handmade quality of it. So basically, to sum it up, guys, I'm gonna compare this now to another knife, okay? This is the KHI Power Hammer Bowie. Okay, I did review this on one of my other videos. This is a beautifully, aesthetically beautiful knife. It's got a really high gloss finish, very extremely, well done hand polishing on this knife. CHOIRBOYZ Cutlery also tested it. He was very happy with it. Now, in terms of basically cutting with the D-bed Preacher, and then also cutting with, to get back in the frame, and cutting with the Bowie from KHI, I personally think the comfort level, okay, is the major thing, and just the fact of just the balance of this thing and the beefiness of the blade, the wide blade, made this so much of a better cutter, okay, than the KHI Power Hammer Bowie, okay? But this is also a very capable, very solid, well-built knife from KHI. I just felt like if I had to say the biggest difference between these two is the handle, okay? So if you notice the handle here is kind of a more straight handle. It doesn't really curve. It has a little lip here where your hand won't slip off, but I kind of felt like it wasn't as secure, okay, in my hand as the Preacher is, okay, because it kind of has like a kukri feel, okay, in terms of that curvature. The egos on this handle are really amazing. And it just felt so much more stable and comfortable in the hand. And you're able to kind of give it all your strength into the hits, because it is going to stay very stable and balanced in the hand. Whereas this kind of just, it is comfortable, it's stable in the hand, but not as well done as the Preacher is, okay? But this is still a very good cutter. Very beefy blade, also very, very thick tang. Okay, not as thick as the Preacher, of course, but this is a very well done Bowie from KHI. I definitely recommend it as well. But if I had to compare the two, the Preacher definitely takes it, guys. The Preacher is a beast. I mean, listen, aesthetically, it's not meant to be a collector's knife, okay? I think it's a beautiful knife because of its rough look to it, but it's not a collector's knife. It's a knife that is made to be used, and it's made to last, and it's made to take any abuse that you give to it, okay? Hell, I've seen Scab, put the spine of this blade right through a cinder block. He broke a cinder block into just pulverized a cinder block into pieces, okay, with the spine of this blade, and it's still living to tell the tale, okay? It's still cutting, it's still doing its thing. All right, it's really something to behold, and it's something that once you own it, feel it, grab it in your hand and use it, you understand how wonderful this D-bed Preacher is. Okay, it's not perfect in its aesthetic, but it's not trying to be perfect in its aesthetics. Okay, it has a purpose in mind from the designer as far as having a certain look, feel, balance, and overall, just awesomeness of this knife. It was designed for that purpose, okay? So here is your D-bed Preacher, guys. Conclusion, obviously you guys know I'm stoked about this knife. It's definitely going to come out and play, okay, again sometime soon. I'm going to give it some love, okay, on my workshop. I'm going to hone the edge, strop it, polish it up a little bit, take out any surface scratches. Really, nothing really was left on the blade for the most part after doing all that cutting. Probably throw a little Mother's Meg on it, and it'll be pretty much ready to go. So, and guys, listen, the deal that you get on this knife. I mean, this knife is selling. It's actually their #1 selling D-bed creation knife at KHI Nepal, and it's selling for just an amazing $99, guys. $99 this knife costs. Okay, you are getting so much for the money for basically under $100. Okay. It's about a 2 pound knife. I mean, it actually comes in at 1 pound, 0.55 ounces. So it's about 1.5 pounds, okay? But it doesn't feel like 1.5 pounds. It's so well balanced with the handle and the design of it that it just still stays very balanced in the hand. A lot of steel, big belly, just a beast of a knife, but it's incredibly balanced in the hand, okay? Can't say enough about the D-bed Preacher. Guys, take a look at it. Take a look at the Kukri House. I definitely recommend it. Again, be ready to sharpen it. If you feel like you want a very sharp edge, that probably is the only thing that you should have to be looking at when you receive a knife from KHI. Maybe fine out of the box. Don't panic, okay? But it'll do the job out of the box and do whatever you need to do. But if you want a very sharp edge on your knife, okay, which I do and a lot of people do, be ready to have to reprofile it and get it sharpened or get that service provided to you. Definitely learn to do it yourself, guys. Pick up a workshop. You'll do it in about a half hour and it's perfectly ready, good to go, okay? So, guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Again, this is the D-Bad Preacher. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I gave you as much details as possible, okay, without making this too long, okay? I appreciate you sticking around, guys. This is Joe from Steel Forge and Fire, Sword and Knife. Peace out, everybody, and until the next video, have a good one, guys. Peace.